You know, I like to hook effects up to my synthesizer. I'm sure you do too. Sometimes it's a little confusing how you hook one up. Today I want to talk about connecting effects to your synthesizer. But I also get to introduce a new module from synthesizers.com called the Q201 Effects Loop module. That's right, we now have a module mounted in your synthesizer, and it gives you all the connections to connect your effects. It also gives you some cool controls. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so we're coming out of the VCA. We're going to go into the left input. That's also normalized to the right input. We're going to come out of our sends and go to our effects processor. In this case, I'm using an Eventide reverb. And the return from the reverb will come back up and go into the return inputs. One of the things you want to do is to play a sound and make sure you don't overdrive your effects processor. You can adjust it with the attenuator. If you find you have to attenuate the signal going to your pedal, you can make up for it in the return section because that volume control has gain. The blend knob is used to adjust between the dry signal and the wet signal. You can use the return level to find the balance between dry and wet signal. In the return section, they also provide a polarity switch. Some pedals might invert the polarity 180 degrees, so you have a switch here to put that signal back into phase. So you just try it both ways and see which way sounds the best. As I bring it to the right, we're adding more reverb and back to dry. Now the blend knob has a CV input, and I've got that connected to a modulation wheel. I can use the return setting to adjust the maximum amount of effect you get when you have the modulation wheel all the way up. So this is the typical setup when using a stereo effect pedal and you're going stereo out. So in this example, we're using a mono effect. It's the MF104 delay pedal. So we're still going to go in the left input, which is normalized to both channels. We come out of the left out, go into the effect, come out of the effect, come back in and go to the left in on the return, which will also send it to both channels. I'll turn the blend to the left, which is the straight signal, then bring in the delay. So with this setup, we have direct signal in both channels, we have effects in both channels, and this is the typical way you would set it up with a mono effect pedal. And we can still turn the effect up and down with the modulation wheel. So we talked about when you plug into the left channel, it's normalized to the left and right. But if you only wanted it to come out of the left channel, you could add an adapter to the right, and that would make the signal coming in only come out of the left channel. So now with no effect, we will just hear sound coming out of the left channel. Now, if I take the output of the delay pedal and put it into the right return, we'll end up getting dry signal out of the left channel and delay out of the right channel. This way we've created a stereo effect. What's cool is this pedal has a modulation adjustment, so I can detune that signal coming out of the right and create a stereo chorus. You know, having had this module for a while, I think it brings your effects more into your system. And where I really didn't think of effects that much when performing, now I feel like it's actually part of the synthesizer. It's very cool. So that's the Q201 FXLP Effects Loop module. Okay, so that's the Effects Loop. Very awesome. Don't forget, there's a promotion. If you use the code Benton10 on your next purchase, it's a one-time code. You get 10% off up to $500. So if you buy $5,000 worth of stuff, you get $500 off. If you buy $500 worth of stuff, you get $50 off, and so on. So make the most of it. Appreciate you coming and watching the videos. If you're getting anything from them, hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe, all those good things, and we'll catch you next time.